Marshawn Lehigh, our officials, veteran officiating crew. Randy McCall has worked 6 Final Fours, 2 national championship games in his career. Only fitting for a battle of unbeatens tonight. As we're underway, LMU wins the tap. Bridget Condon, Bill Herenda, I'm Ben Wilson. Happy to have you along. Friday night hoops in LA. It's Rodney Brown Jr. immediately continuing this trend of long-range shooting for LMU. Brown leading the charge as you look at the LMU starters, averaging 16 a game. Had 28 points, Bill, last time we were here, and hit 8 threes in that matchup.
An auspicious start for Brown and the Lions.
Meanwhile, nice answer by Troy. We mentioned Cooper Campbell in the open. How about his older brother, Kobe, who's a redshirt junior? Cooper, a sophomore. Also watch out for Thomas Dowd, averaging a near double-double on the preseason All-Sun Belt team. V-Day on the float. That's good. We were promised offense. Bill, both teams averaging over 90 a game. We've got it so far.
Absolutely. And when you look at Troy's roster, then all 5 starters are shooting at least 40% from 3.
Over and back, turnover for the Trojans, who had a lot of turnover on the roster. They lost 4 starters, including Tayton Connerway, who was the Sun Belt Player of the Year, first in Trojan program history. He got a lot of NIL money to go to Indiana, become a Hoosier. So expectations weren't all that high for a team who went to the NCAA tournament last year. They were picked just 4th in the preseason poll, but here they are off to a 3-0 start and are playing the toughest non-con of any of their top competitors within the league.
Yeah, absolutely. After tonight, they head to Northridge, San Diego State, USC. Then they head to a tournament. So the beginning of a 6-game road trip for Coach Scott Cross and the Trojans.
V-Day was the first player Coach Scott Cross highlighted on the scouting report when we talked to him this morning. Sets up McBride around and out. Aaron McBride's first shot a miss and a chance for Troy to push.
Excellent transition defense by LMU here early.
And a travel, Theo Sang gets caught in the paint. And neither team will necessarily want to run fast, but when given the opportunity, they certainly can. And Troy is a team, with how good they are defensively, it can oftentimes lead to runouts.
Yeah, no question about it. Both teams, and you're right, Ben, it's small sample size, but they're both scoring at a high level. So if you have the opportunity to turn over your opponent and limit their possessions and their field goal attempts, that's always a good thing.
Oh, big block from behind. Victor Valdez, the junior from Monterrey, Mexico, gets the swat. Campbell showing off the handles, but a strip inside.
Now, Campbell reminds me of Scott Skiles for our old school
viewers. Oh, that's a great comp, yes.
He's got excellent vision, the ability to dribble the basketball, create his own shot. He's very slick, reigning Conference Player of the Week with the ball right now out of the Sun Belt Conference.
The one thing you didn't accurately identify, though, the lack of a scowl. He seems too nice of a guy to be given the moniker, the Skiles Scowl. Another turnover in the meantime, this time Dowd walking the tightrope.
A salient point, Ben. Well done. And here we see the Trojans extending. You're right. They want to slow down V-Day and LMU. A little 2-2-1, 3-quarter court pressure. You know, you're good. You're illuminating my many, many blind spots. But we got a game to talk about, but I appreciate it.
Hey, we got 38 minutes left. We'll have plenty of opportunity. Asanza with 10 on the shot clock. This LMU team playing with so much confidence, not known as an offensive team by any means coming into the year, as V-Day launches. Offensive board, McBride. Brown's already hit 1 3. Talk about a guy playing with confidence. The transfer coming in from Va-Tech puts it in. Continuing his hot start with 5 early points.
Almost an unguardable shot. The help comes, but Brown, the fadeaway jumper, nothing but net, short corner.
It's amazing what a change of scenery can do. Brown has never been on a winning team as Cooper Campbell can't answer for 3. Offensive board Dowd averaging 9 a game. Valdez, pretty move working right around Shelley, a guy who's really taken a leap this year. The coaching staff expected it to happen from his sophomore to junior year, but extremely satisfying for them to watch it in real time. As Asanza immediately answers, got the mismatch, and V-Day takes advantage.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Ben. rim running Asanza, mouse in the house, taking advantage of the mismatch. And, of course, it's Vide with the terrific vision finding Rick. Good to see the big man rewarded for his efforts.
Kobe Campbell on the drive and kick. Valdez hit a moment ago. Got the three for a team that was dead last in the Sun Belt, just a 30% three-point shooting team last year, but they are way better in a small sample size this year.
These teams very similar in a lot of ways. Good positional size. They can guard multiple positions, really 1 through 4. Asanza, a difference maker at 7-1, but other than that, a lot of guys built in a similar fashion.
Jalen Shelley on the spin. Can't get the friendly roll, but Asanza knocks it right back to him, and it's Shelley who draws the foul. A team leading 17 of 20 at the line so far this year, and he'll get his free throws when we return. His D1 career at Oklahoma and now LMU, but those season highs really paved the way, Bill, to the most impressive of the 4 wins LMU's picked up this year on the road at UTEP.
Yeah, down 4. They have outscored the Miners 37-20 in the second 20 minutes, and they started down 9-2. So a character victory. We see Shelley in double digits along with Vide and Brown, and then MJ Amy with 18 off the bench was sensational in that win. Keys tonight, bring the D. You got to do it against a team that's averaging 96. And then poise. This is a team top 10 in steals in Troy, so you got to play with poise and equanimity on your home floor. And those keys, of course, as always, brought to us by Cedars-Sinai.
It's an 11-7 lead for LMU out of the gates. 2 for 2 at the line for Jalen Shelley. First matchup all time between Troy and LMU, and the first time that LMU's faced a Sun Belt team in the Stan Johnson era. Missed 3 from the outside by Kobe Campbell, and a chance for Brown to get out in transition, picked up by Valdez. Travel, though, as Brown slides the pivot foot.
That's the Lions' first turnover tonight. Troy has turned it over 3 times, and in addition to some of the similarities we talked about between these squads, but both teams with 4 players averaging in double figures as well, so balanced scoring for both squads, and a lot of it early on this season.
Troy started the game on Tuesday, a 20-0 run against Pensacola Christian College. I'll go out on a limb and say Pensacola Christian never had a chance in that game. As Cooper Campbell drives, tough fadeaway tip, right at the cylinder, it goes in. Not sure who got that final touch there, but it goes down nonetheless for Troy. This is the 5-minute stretch they have trailed tonight, Bill. They had only trailed 3 minutes combined the first 3 games, so some unusual territory for the Trojans.
Yeah, good point, Ben.
They give Dowd credit on the tip-in. Vide can't answer. Look at the physicality of Dowd, who they offered a scholarship to when he was a sophomore in high school.
Dowd's going to remind our West Coast Conference and LMU fans a little bit of Kelly Olynyk out of Gonzaga. He's got that type of game.
And a hairstyle to match as well.
Incidentally,
of course, Carrington Keel just in off the bench. Fumbles it out of bounds, but last off Josh Dalton, the freshman who's just in for LMU.
And how good was Dalton the other night on the road? Impervious to the conditions, going for 6 points, 2 of 2. From downtown, making 2 free throws. Dalton has been really impressive early, number 6 in white for LMU, as we see Rick Asanza re-entering.
You talk about the benches as well. It's a fascinating dynamic because Troy really have not used the bench at all so far this year. They just bring in the redshirt freshman Austin Cross, son of the head coach Scott Cross, and Jarrell Bellamy, a senior center, coming in. Here is Austin Cross. Can't finish, but there's Dowd on the follow-up. We're tied at 11.
Yeah, Cross was almost stunned that he was that wide open, but Dowd opportunistic on the follow-up.
You talk about an advantage from your bench, and MJ Amy, team's leading scorer coming off the bench, has settled into that role beautifully for LMU.
Both teams exclusively in man-to-man thus far.
You watch Brown on this side working toward the bucket. Went for the contact. Good job to defend without fouling by Bellamy. After the slow start, Troy has really worked themselves into the game nicely.
Yeah, Bellamy, excellent job as a secondary defender, rotating with great help. That was early and strong.
Pass out of the reach of Bellamy. And a turnover back to LMU as we go back and forth. What do you make just seeing Troy in person for the first time? A really impressive squad, Bill, off the NCAA tournament appearance. A lot to like about the Trojans.
Yeah, and you know they're very well coached. Scott Cross has been at Troy for a while. He was at UT Arlington for a long time. Caleb Canales, first year as associate head coach, experience in the NBA with the New York Knicks. So strong staff, strong squad, a little zone action here.
Amy short on a three. Deflection, loose. Dalton hits the deck. Down falls right over him, and it's a chance in transition for an open three. Keel knocks it down. Keel 4 for 10 from long range this year, and Troy has its first lead of the night.
You almost have to make all of the Trojans drivers and close out hard on them because so many of them shoot from three at a high percentage. So we get a good look here. Great up fake, and listen, that's the freshman Thomas closing out hard, but Keel very crafty there with the head fake, creating space for the open jumper.
One thing to watch when LMU has the ball tonight, Troy has really been a sort of three-point funnel defense. They are one of the best two-point defenses in the country, but they give up a lot of threes. Well, LMU's hit a ton of triples in their own right the first 4 games. That could be a big edge if they find those looks. Here, Amy going inside, but right on cue. That defense in the interior is so good for Troy. Get the takeaway.
Yeah, that's been a blemish on LMU's offense early this season, the turnovers. That's something that certainly Stan Johnson and the staff has been trying to clean up.
Amy gets it right back, pushing up ahead. Thomas knifing through the D and lays it in. It's one way to make up for it on the offensive side. Get a stop and a turnover in transition.
Yeah, great recognition by Thomas. Little Euro step. He had Shelley as well as a trailer, but decided to finish. Excellent decision.
Jarrell Bellamy wide open, off on the three. It's Shelley averaging nearly 9 boards a game, who takes down the rebound. Going to work on the crossover. The USC transfer, a little off the mark. We've talked about similarities as well, Bill. Both teams challenge themselves playing exhibitions against Power 4 teams. As this three goes, it's Sang. A bomb from long range. Troy played Georgia in an exhibition. LMU played USC. Both coaches have felt like that really helped out. And it's a foul inside on the drive by A.J. Thomas. Sends us to a break.
First State and a guy by the name of Damian Lillard had 17 in the win. But going back then, obviously you knew that Coach Cross was a terrific basketball mind. Not surprised by all the success he's had since then.
I've heard of that Damian Lillard guy as we're back underway. Thomas had been fouled before the break, and now it's Thomas who takes the foul and one. Valdez puts it in. 19-13 as we send it back to Bridget.
Yeah, during that last timeout, Stan Johnson was pretty animate talking to A.J. Thomas, the freshman, about his defense. Said, don't get caught in the corner down there low by their basket. When I talked with him about those freshmen, he talked about AJ and how talented he is, but he said they're learning just how hard you have to play at this level. You don't have time to wait on development. They have to impact winning right now. He believes their upside gives this team a ceiling, though, that they haven't had in a while.
Bridget, a big reason why this game feels like a win-win for both clubs, regardless of even if you lose, you still figure you're going to learn a lot about your team, Bill, and really challenge the freshmen in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the keys for Troy. Road toughness, got to have it, and then rebound margin. LMU plus 13, Troy only plus 1. So the battle of the glass will be paramount tonight for the Trojans on the road.
Trojans' second best rebounding team in the Sun Belt last year. Shelley, good look, get it out and back in on the three.
Shelley is just a guy that can make key shots at critical moments, a long, rangy defender, runs the floor, high flyer, brings so much to the Lions.
Sang going down inside, and they call the foul on the deck. Jalen Shelley.
And to Bridget's point and Stan's point, for the freshmen, Thomas and Dalton, as Thomas is going to exit here, it used to be checkers, now it's chess. Now, Thomas is a prolific scorer at the high school level, 3,000 points. And we saw earlier on, he's paying attention to the scouting report, closing out on the three-point shooter. But, of course, he goes for the head fake, and that's just part of the maturation process. But, like Stan says, they got impact winning right now.
One of the few vets on the team, Jan Vide, able to get the steal. And while there are a number of guys with D1 experience, Bill, they haven't necessarily played a ton at their previous stops. Rodney Brown, a great example. As this shot from Shelley on the interior goes wide.
Yeah, exactly. But it's about opportunity, minutes, production, skill development, all of those things, culture, fit.
Oh, Vide able to alter at the rim on Valdez. Vide, top 20 in the country in assist rate. Will he get another one? Dalton, not this time on a good three-pointer look, and Sang gets the board.
Yeah, you like that offense. Vide penetrating, drawing two, kicking to Dalton. A balanced shot. Can't always judge shots by the result. So you like that LMU offense. Now they got to defend.
Cooper Campbell, 7 on the shot clock, looking for cross, but it's picked off by Shelley. Vide all the way, and one!
Vide slicing and dicing the Troy defense. We get a good look at it here. Receives the outlet pass from Shelley. Quick crossover. Late help is no help. And Vide quite demonstrative as he draws the foul, and he'll go to the line.
Vide was a central part of Scott Cross's scouting report tonight. In addition to that, Vide, who played his youth club ball in Madrid, just like Victor Valdez did for Troy. So there is at least a little familiarity, and Vide, who didn't play a ton at UCLA, has had an awesome first year as a true starter, had a career-high 11 assists the last home game against Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah, co-captain, had a great summer playing for his home country. In his game, limitless potential.
Another takeaway, Rodney Brown. That's the 8th Troy turnover already as Rokas Jotsus, the native of Lithuania, checks in for the first time. Shelley is called for the charge.
So we get a good look at it here. Shelley on the drive, and you see the extension, the offhand. He's a lefty, and with the right hand, he creates space. The officials on the case. Here's Shelton checking in. Eastern Illinois, his former squad, losing at Kentucky earlier tonight, by the way.
First team All-OVC for Nikyle Shelton last year, transferring into LMU. 19-18 Troy, just over the halfway mark of our opening 20 minutes. Valdez nearly traveled. 6 on the shot clock, and Cooper Campbell dribbled it right off his foot. What is it about this LMU defense that's really got the Troy offense kind of in quicksand here, Bill?
Yeah, now Campbell is the reigning Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week. He averaged 20 points per game last week. They have held him scoreless and have forced him into 4 turnovers. The reason why, Ben, is just good on-ball defense and excellent help-to-helper defense by LMU, particularly on Campbell. So you love that as a coach. KYP, know your personnel. They're doing a great job early on Campbell.
It's Vide high off the window. Jotsus could not corral the board. The Trojans have turned it over 9 times already. LMU has not taken advantage, though, just 3 buckets off those. Cross, strong move, good D at the rim by Brown. And for 2 offenses averaging over 90 a game, it's been the D here over the last few minutes. Brown wide open for 3, but McBride sucks in the board. Another chance. Another offensive reset for Jotsus. Can't afford to give up many of those if you're the opposition with how many LMU make, and it turns into points. Vide inside.
Excellent job by the Lions attacking the offensive glass. We talked about rebound margin, and you mentioned it, Ben, as well. Trying to take advantage of the turnovers that they're creating, but they're on that offensive possession, crashing the glass. Eventually, it gets results.
Cross misses the layup on this end. I mean, LMU was the second worst rebounding team in the WCC last year. Troy the second best in the Sun Belt, so this is pretty shocking just from a physicality perspective, yet you have to give credit to the Lions for how they've crashed the glass. Six of the shot clock. Shelton hounded and knocked out of bounds last by the Trojans. We figured it would be a good back and forth, 2 undefeated.
To enjoy the process more. And so he said, all right, I'll do it. I'll start dancing in the locker room after wins. But guys, it's all about freestyle. It's not planned. He just tells the DJ, throw on a song and gets the moves going. He said, I've always been a good dancer. Jalen Shelley, though, he had something to say about that. Says, Stan Johnson has old head moves, but he tries.
Where did he learn these moves from, Bridget? That's what I want to know. I mean,
he said he's always had it.
Always, apparently. 3 from the corner out of the timeout. Miss from Rodney Brown Jr. Well, I can tell you, Bill, someone who grew up in the town of Mequon, Wisconsin, where Stan Johnson used to live when he was an assistant at Marquette. He did not learn any dance moves from Mequon. I'll put it out there right now, but probably from somewhere else.
Those videos are priceless. Great moments.
Valdez working inside on Asanza and draws the foul. Valdez off to a great start while his teammates have been struggling here, Bill, with the 9 turnovers already. Valdez has really been the steady constant with 7 points on 3 or 4 shooting.
Yeah, absolutely. And LMU currently on a 7-0 run. Can they get a stop here and amplify the run that they're on? They were down 6, were the Lions.
Javen Colbert, true freshman, just into the game for Troy off the bench. On the drive, tough finish. It's Kobe Campbell right around the streaking Asanza.
Yeah, great drive by Campbell. Against great players, you can't stop them, you can only contain them.
And then a carry called on A.J. Thomas, turnover going right back to Troy.
And it's a scenario where, like you've mentioned and Bridget has mentioned, these both teams kind of pulling that rope. They're both undefeated. It's a big night to continue that momentum. You said it earlier, Ben, somebody is going to have a blemish here after this evening. You don't want it to be you.
Rodney Brown got the 3. It's what he's been doing best this year. Second triple for Brown as LMU's back on top.
Yeah, you just absolutely cannot lose Brown if you're Troy. He will make you pay.
Foul called off the ball. And even though Troy's turned the ball over a lot already, the 9 turnovers, they were near the worst turnover team last year, yet they still won the Sun Belt anyway. It just speaks to, A, the defensive toughness, and B, also the crunch time play that a lot of veterans showed for Scott Cross and Troy last year as you see Stan Johnson looking on. It's pretty rare that you see a team turn it over that often, Bill, and still make up for it with so many wins.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes it difficult for sure.
Toby Campbell off on the 3 and a board to Asanza. Brown had never scored more than 13 points in a game until coming to LMU this year. He had a 28-point game last weekend, but watches his teammate Thomas throw it away. Keel, bodies hitting the deck. Great job by McBride, gets into the passing lanes. And McBride is slow to get up on the other end. He took a shot after jarring the ball loose, and the official stopped play.
McBride has such a winning game. So many deflections, rebounds on both ends of the floor. Hopefully he's okay, staying in here. Great job by our crew. And he just hits the deck heading for the loose ball, and a Troy player kind of landed on him, but McBride here inbounding. Looks like he's okay.
Stays in the game, yep. V-Day back in. There were some strong words being delivered from Stan Johnson to A.J. Thomas as he left, just like Bridget was telling us earlier. Deep 3, Brown. Not this time. LMU still taking a lot of threes. 10 of the 24 attempts have come from long range so far, but they've hit just 3 of them.
And Stan told us post-game the other night, he's okay with the threes as long as we're touching paint, spraying it out. It's those threes where you're trying to create and there's lack of ball movement, lack of player movement. Those you don't like.
See that great graphic from our team. Nearly 28 three-point attempts a game, by far leading the WCC. Speaking of threes, Jarrell Bellamy, a little strong, and then a hold called inside. Fighting for position, Jan Vide could not box out Thomas Dowd.
Really taking advantage of that. They've only scored 6 points off of those turnovers. And with the exception of Brown and Vide, they have kept everyone else quiet.
Valdez has been the star for Troy early, but he's off the mark on this three, and then a push in the back going the other way on Jarrell Bellamy.
And both teams come into tonight shooting greater than 40% from three. They're both averaging 12 made threes, so that'll be a factor. But this is a critical juncture. Who is going to grab the steering wheel here? Under 4 minutes, LMU on their home floor with a 2-point lead.
For a team like LMU that is really ratcheted up the rate of threes this year, how do you respond when those threes are not falling?
You shoot the good ones as if you're going to make 6 of the next 7, 8 of the next 10. However, attack the basket if you can.
But that's where Troy has been great at that interior defense, and they get another takeaway. 7th turnover of the first half by LMU on that pass from Vide. Valdez stuck in the paint, and he travels.
Now, Asanza as a space eater at 7-1. That is a tangible result, right? We see that on the box score, a turnover that he forces by being big. So many shots, if he's not blocking them, he's altering them, they may not show up in the box score, and he's going to get a break here as Shelley enters and Asanza exits.
It's really kept LMU in the game, the defense, with how poor the shooting has gone so far, and what LMU has done, raising their three-point rate to a top 25 level in the country. It really reflects what we're seeing around both college and pro basketball. Kind of reminds me of what the Milwaukee Bucks came out and did this year, saying they wanted to shoot 43s a game. It's not quite to that level for LMU, but similar principles apply as Amy hangs and hits. Talk about a drive to the cup.
An excellent move by Amy. Finished that as the elevator was going down. Tremendous strength by MJ Amy.
And another turnover by Troy. That is 12 already. More turnovers than made baskets for the Trojans.
Now remember, Troy averages 96 points per game. We see Vide here dishing to Amy. Drives, excellent at avoiding, charging, agile in the air, floating. Strong move by Amy.
And to think MJ Amy had to work as a food delivery driver to earn money just to go to a showcase in Arizona during the COVID days because he had no D1 offers coming out of prep school. Hard to believe that nearly 5 years later. At number 5 in white on the near side. Leading scorer off the bench for LMU as Vide drives hard and draws a foul.
And Amy was terrific yet again in that road victory at UTEP the other night. Going for 18 points, 7 of 12, 4 of 8 from downtown was MJ. 5 rebounds as well in the victory.
Saw Vide arguing that should have been a shooting foul. Instead, they keep it on the floor, and LMU has to take timeout, struggling to get the ball in. Rodney Brown Jr. by way of Cal and then Virginia Tech.
Loves playing closer to home now, Ben, as
100%.
well.
100%. Here's Brown going to work. Just over 2 to play in the first half. LMU on an extended 12-2 run over the last 8+ minutes. No look pass, wide open. Vide can't hit the three. What a pretty find by Brown, though.
On that pick and roll, it was McBride had a mouse in the house situation, but they couldn't isolate for him, but that's still a good look.
On the lob, there's more defense from LMU. They do it again. Brown gets the tip off of Valdez, who wanted a better pass. He also didn't believe that was off of him last.
Yeah, Valdez wants the coach's challenge, which a called out of bounds violation at any point during the game can be challenged, but Scott Cross is going to keep that in his back pocket here in pluvial Los Angeles.
Yes.
The Trojans are like, what's all this hype about the California weather? It's pouring rain.
Talk about a bad beat, right? on a week-long road trip out to the West Coast.
Coaching staff probably loves it, keeps the kids focused.
Of course, you gotta think so. Vide, the head fake, nifty move, short on the floater. Fight for the ball comes to Valdez. Trojans have been ice cold from the field, have not hit a bucket in over 4 minutes. Foul called on the baseline on McBride.
And for Coach Cross, that's bad news, but the good news, you're only down 4, and you're turning the ball over at a rapid pace. So, and now you have the opportunity to get to the free throw line. This will be Troy's second trip to the line. They're 0 of 1. LMU, in contrast, hasn't been there that much either, Ben. They're only 2 of 3 are the Lions.
For as many turnovers as there have been, it's not been super sloppy from a foul perspective, as Cooper Campbell, first time either team has reached the bonus, hits the front end of a 1-and-1.
Cooper and Kobe, of course, the scions of Scott Campbell, an assistant coach on Scott Cross's staff with Troy.
So 23 points now for Troy. In stark contrast to their last game when they scored 121. A little bit different feel, but LMU is not Pensacola Christian College, that's for sure.
And they put up 103 on Kent State in an overtime win on the road as well, Ben.
Vide with a nice float in the paint.
That's vintage Jan Vide. So smooth, straight up and down, the floater, nothing but twine.
He joins Brown with 8 points. Sang going to work, bodies up McBride and draws contact. Sang a top backup off of Scott Cross's bench each of the last 2 years, now getting an opportunity in the rotation and playing really well, averaging 13 and 5 a game.
Now that was good defense by McBride, except that he did not go totally vertical. So he picks up the foul and a opportunity for Sang here at the line.
Sang from a place that very close to home for you, Davis, California. The great Davis, California. He was a Sac State transfer, but he went the JUCO route first. Originally was a D2 product at San Francisco State, but that was back in the 2020 season when the D2 season in large part, at least in the state of California, was canceled. So it took a while for Sang to get in a position where he could actually play on a successful team, and it's finally happened for him. Good to see for Theo Sang back in his home state.
Absolutely.
It's both free throws to make it a 2-point game. We expected this to be tight back and forth. We have gotten it with 4 lead changes already.
And Sang a Davis High product as well, so getting it done there, and now at the collegiate level.
There's Brown on the pull-up. Yotsus attempted the bat out, but it's right to Kobe Campbell, and the Trojans can hold for 1.
That was a great look for Brown, and a great attempt by Yotsus to keep it alive, and Lions just unable to scoop up the offensive rebound.
And what has turned into a grinder after a fast start. Troy ball down to final stages first half. Dowd puts it on the deck, blocked! Loose and out of bounds, last off of LMU. Nothing called with all that contact, but it looked pretty clean by LMU.
Now this is great recovery by Yotsus. He's beaten off the dribble, but he does not give up. And there, he's absolutely right. You go right at the rim at the square. You know the ball is going to be there. Excellent anticipation. Yotsus has had good minutes tonight, and he's replaced now by Asanza for the final 1.1 on the clock.
Kobe Campbell on the lob, cannot be controlled by Bellamy. And that does it for the end of the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just wondering why Lorenzo Romar says everything in so many few words, and I'm so loquacious.
It's the start of the second half with Kobe Campbell knocking it down from the outside.
I just talked with Scott Cross, the head coach for Troy, and he told me that he was pretty impressed that they were only down by 2 with how poorly he thought they played in the first half. He said their physicality is something that is really troubling for Troy in that first half. He said we have to be better. We have to be more poised, relax, not let the pressure bother them, guys.
That's a great message, Bridget, as Brown draws a foul. Okay, so you are calling Bill for Lorenzo. Omar, you could easily take your job as a very easily well-spoken potential analyst. Meanwhile, Scott Cross saying exactly the things we were identifying at the half. But as a coach, you got to love the fact you're actually now up one after that three, and without a doubt, the worst half of basketball Troy has played this year.
Yes.
Brown knocks it down, right back to an LMU lead, the 6th lead change of the night.
And notice how Cross goes to his conference player of the week. Campbell, first possession, who makes that three. Reigning Sun Belt Conference player of the week.
Valdez had 7 early points but leaves the layup short. McBride the rebound, who took a hard fall in the first half but was able to play through it.
And to Coach Romar's point, you've got to compete every defensive possession.
V-Day not there. Another good quality look for LMU. A bunch of those, though, have not gone down.
Yeah, and you can live with that, Ben, trusting that they will.
Cooper Campbell to the tin. Didn't get much in the first half, only 2 points. They came at the line, but you figure sooner rather than later, Cooper Campbell averaging nearly 17 a game will get unlocked.
Yeah, he is feeling it now, recognizing that this is the time to make it happen.
V-Day from a similar spot as the last trip does get it to fall. That's more like it from Jan V-Day.
Yeah, V-Day using that 6'6" frame to shoot over the smaller defenders, the diminutive defenders, yet feisty.
Theo Sang off on a three. Shelley the board. Each team's leading scorer with just 2 tonight. MJ Amy for LMU off the bench. Cooper Campbell had 2 before his last bucket as we get a foul called. Valdez not happy.
Yeah, Dow doing a good job of counseling him. Tough to get calls on the road, so for Troy, Valdez is laughing it off now. You just got to turn the page and dig in if you're the Troy Trojans.
Saw Stan Johnson getting into the crouch coaching in his 150th game at LMU and watching Jan V-Day make it look awfully easy in the paint.
Now, Coach Cross has got a decision to make. Are we going to double him, blitz him, get the ball out of his hands? Little too easy for V-Day to operate here early second half. And Stan Johnson may be thinking the same thing about Campbell. How are we going to defend this kid if he continues to get loose?
Valdez off 1 foot, high degree of difficulty. 9 points to lead the Trojans. And a quick timeout taken by Scott Cross at the 17-20 mark. His defense that had been 15th in the country defending the twos, just giving up wide open buckets left and right.
Run. LMU wants that next play mentality, guys. Contest, rebound, and play their game.
Exactly, Bridget, especially when you consider how Troy has basically mimicked what LMU has done just with the efficiency from the 3-ball coming into tonight. Each team top 75 in the country in 3-point rate and 3-point efficiency, but here out of the timeout, it's Aaron McBride who goes right to the rack, something that's worked really well for LMU in the second half.
Yeah, so the Campbell brothers out of the timeout pressure V-Day, but he breaks the pressure, finds McBride, and LMU scores early in the shot clock, relatively early at 19 seconds, something to keep an eye on.
Good look. Dowd short on a 3. Long tap out. That's sucked in by Valdez. Beautiful find. Kobe Campbell, a rare second chance point for Troy.
The opportunistic Trojans. And here's some zone action. We were expecting this from Coach Cross. Try to slow down LMU's offense.
Shelley, the harsh drive and kick to McBride. V-Day, the slash, teardrop, got it!
V-Day, even at the angle that he can use the window, goes right over and through nothing but twine. Very difficult shot that he makes look easy.
Kobe Campbell answers in the corner for 3. Tie game just into the second half. Well, first half featured a lot of offense in the first 5 minutes. Then the D put the clamps down. We're seeing a similar trend here, Bill.
Yeah, the Campbell brothers asserting themselves. Notice how Troy doubles and even triples Asanza when he touches it in the post.
Shelley, not this time for 3. Rebound to Dowd. Valdez on the back down. No, but a foul. The junior from Monterrey, Mexico, putting on a show tonight.
Type scenarios, explodes with a power dribble to the basket. He's a tough cover, Valdez.
And reliable at the line, 13 of 16 from the charity stripe on the season. But he misses here.
Part of the story, Ben, in the second half, Kobe Campbell, the brother, had 4 at the half. He's got 12. He's had 8 points here early in the second half for Troy. He's been major.
For a guy who redshirted last year in his first season on campus. Second free throw good. Troy leads. Trojans at 3-0. Defending champions of the Sun Belt. LMU 4-0 for the first time under Stan Johnson in his 6th year. Oh, V-Day! Will they count it? Yes, and one. A career high for Jan V-Day with 16.
Now, this is why, as a coach, you sleep like a baby. You wake up and cry every couple hours. Because they doubled V-Day, and then he eludes that pick and roll, and he draws the foul. So we're seeing Coach Cross make adjustments to try to contain him, but Jan responding. Great move.
Tonight, we're leading scorer NJ Amy only has 2 points. V-Day has taken over, a game-high 17.
Now here's LMU with a little 1-2-2 scenario.
And a steal by V-Day. On the kick, Amy for 3. Got it! 5-point lead for the Lions on a lightning-fast 6-0 run.
LMU making 6 of their last 7 field goal attempts. The offense percolating.
Valdez, can he answer? No, Yotsus strong underneath. Let's see if the Lions can push. This has been an emphasis on the missed baskets from Troy. And it's Amy spinning, kicks, Shelley, another tray! Timeout Trojans, largest lead for LMU. Ability had been a guy who averaged 18 points a game at the FIBA U19 World Cup back in 2020, back in 23. So the ability has been there. It's just a matter of putting it together at the D1 stage.
Yeah, career high. He's like emulating Bino Udra, Goran Dragic, and of course Luka Doncic, who also toils here in Los Angeles, players out of Slovenia, his homeland.
8-point lead for LMU. It comes in the blink of an eye. 9-0 run in 48 seconds on the V-Day and one, then a couple of threes back-to-back. On the drive, Valdez, yes, big answer.
You're on it, Ben. That's a big response by Troy. They needed that bucket in a major way. Valdez delivers.
Valdez with 12. V-Day going back to work. Shelley, high scoop shot. Does not get the English right. And it's Troy on the run. It's turned into the Valdez show as he drives and kicks. Dowd, open 3. McBride the rebound. Dowd really hasn't gotten going offensively. Just 4 points on 2 of 5 shooting. V-Day. Not on this floater. But again, the pathway has really been unencumbered for V-Day on those.
Absolutely. He is a major conundrum tonight for Troy and for the opposition every night.
Amy with the steal. Amy's had some big second halves this year, and he has 5 already in the second frame tonight.
Just great offense by Amy. It was a 1-on-2 scenario, but he ended up with Campbell on him, and he utilized his size advantage to finish. Very opportunistic, crafty, smart. Well done.
Danger zone right now for Troy. All the momentum with LMU. Dowd to the spin cycle. Hangs, draws contact, and goes to the line, powering in on Shelley.
And Dowd, a guy who an all-conference preseason voted player. We talked earlier, Ben, about these teams being so close in KenPom. Troy 113, LMU 114. Troy ranked 15th in the College Insider mid-major poll. LMU receiving votes. Gonzaga on top of it, followed by St. Mary's. USF is in there as well as Santa Clara.
And Troy, surprisingly, was only picked 4th in the preseason poll. James Madison, the preseason favorites, looked pretty shaky. They're just 2-2, and they lost going away by double digits at Longwood on Wednesday. Arkansas State was second in the poll. They've already lost. So there's definitely an avenue for Troy this year to repeat. They were co-regular season champions, won the tournament as the 3 seed last year.
Yes, and of course, it's a lot of coaches look at it in thirds, non-conference, then conference, then postseason. So, yeah, a lot of basketball to be played. But, yeah, this is a dangerous Troy team and a very dangerous LMU squad as well.
It makes what the last couple minutes LMU has done even that more impressive as the Lions lead by 6. Amy flashes to the cup, sets up Brown. You bet! Wide open 3.
It's exactly the type of three-point shots that the coaching staff wants. You get into the paint, great dish, Brown with oodles of room, and he's pernicious to the opposition.
Brown is called for the foul, though, on the drive by Cooper Campbell. And after so many quality first-half looks from 3 didn't go down for LMU, the tide has turned 3 and 4 from long range in half number 2.
Yeah, this is a night reminiscent of Third World, the old reggae group. Now that we've found love, what are we going to do with it, right? For both squads, how do you handle that modest early season success without a blemish on your schedule? And here we see LMU asserting themselves. But again, Campbell is averaging 20 over the last week. The current Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week responding.
Campbell now with 6 points, 4 of those 6 coming at the stripe. 51-44 LMU, a team that has made a point to shoot more quality threes this year. They're in the top 25 in three-point rate, but they get a wide open slam. Yotsus behind the D.
Great recognition by LMU on the double team. Thomas, the freshman, finding Yotsus for the flush.
And a steal. Thomas, coast to coast for the freshman. First double-digit lead for either team tonight.
Now, you love to see this from the freshman. It was a rocky first half for him, and now he's finding his groove. Well done. Big minutes for Yotsus as well. This will be a boon for his confidence.
After just 2 minutes the previous game. Dowd, gotta have it, knocks down the tray. First time Dowd has gotten unlocked from long range.
Yeah, Dowd is a player. He's got game. He's not going to leave LA without making some noise. Northridge, USC after this. San Diego State in the mix. Viejas as well for the Trojans coming up.
Here's Thomas. Hangs and draws contact. A.J. Thomas took some criticism from his coach and a couple stern talking tos in the first half, but making some highlight reel plays.
McBride with 2. And don't forget MJ Amy with 5 in the second half. So you're getting systemic production. It's almost reminiscent of UTEP on Tuesday evening, where the Lions outscored the Miners on their floor 37-20. They're trending in that direction right now. 28-22 second half for the Lions.
And will continue to need more bench production like from A.J. Thomas as he misses both free throws because Jalen Shelley picked up his 4th foul right before that last break. So something to monitor for LMU. One of the starters in foul trouble. Nobody with more than 2 fouls for Troy. Been a really cleanly played and officiated game. The slip pass. Bellamy blocked, fouled before the shot. They call it on the ground.
The other thing LMU has done is 16-4 paint points in the second half. But here, Bellamy gets deep into the paint, fouled by Brown. It's always nice to have Asanza as a basket and a rim protector there. But foul on the floor, so Bellamy will not go to the line. Troy inbounding on the baseline.
On the double trap, Campbell gets out of it. Kick 3, around and out for Cross as Asanza gets the rebound.
That's UB Brown, cardinal rule of NBA playoff basketball. Can you control your defensive board? Every time LMU does that, it's major.
Amy blocked on the 3 by Dowd, comes out to contest. Reset for V-Day, and he's stripped. Active hands, Cooper Campbell, 2-on-2. Campbell is fouled. Now, Troy really hadn't been able to utilize the strength of the team, which is the defense, Bill, until this last sequence.
Yeah, so Campbell here with good vision, elevates, and good call by the officials. Brown was vertical for a while, but then gets into Campbell's space, so he'll get to the free throw line.
3 personals on Brown. Cooper Campbell makes the first. Coach Cross was scouting at a prep tournament in Atlanta when he just stumbled across Cooper Campbell, got to meet Cooper, his dad Scott. Fast forward a couple of years now, it's Cooper, his older brother Kobe. Scott's on the staff, so they clicked right away.
Yeah, it's a family affair. That's a great coup. And 96 in black. Cross, scion of the head coach, so it's a family affair with the Troy Trojans.
Can Troy dig deep, down as many as 11 in this second half, have gotten it to within 6 as we cross the 10-minute mark. Amy pulls up, short on a 3, but he gets his own miss. Wants the ball, head fake. Amy floats, not this time.
Tough angle. I think he wanted the alley-oop to Asanza, but at the last minute, he turned it into a shot attempt.
And Campbell from long range. Cooper Campbell, his team leading 10th three of the year. Timeout LMU. After the Lions took that 11-point lead in a flash, Troy just as quickly, Bill, gets right back in it to within 3. That saw there a moment ago, the 3 in black. This is a Troy program, after all, that played in the highest scoring game in NCAA history. 1992, they beat DeVry 258 to 141. That is correct, 258.
Wow.
V-Day wide open for 3. Not this time. Campbell the rebound. You ever play in any games like that on the Jersey Shore, Bill? I know you guys used to run back in the day.
Absolutely, not like that. That's even like the old school LMU, Hank Gathers, Bo Kimball, Jeff Fryer squads. That is monster production.
Bellamy draws the foul.
Stan Johnson's 150th game here at LMU tonight, and he'd love to punctuate it with a win and for the Lions to go 5-0 as Bellamy gets to the free throw line.
Foul on Yotsus. Can the Lions finish after building a 14-point lead? And we are in Hank's house. The opener this year for LMU, and the Lions scored 137 points, most since 91, which was the year after that famous LMU team of 1990 made its Elite 8 run.
It's interesting. Troy has made more free throws than LMU has attempted. They're 12 of 15. LMU just 3 of 6 from the line. On the road, they're doing this too.
No doubt, LMU did not even make the bonus in the first half. Amy around the screen, kicks. V-Day with a game-high 17 on a career night. Fakes the 3. Beautiful pass! Yotsus and 1!
Now that's excellent offense by V-Day, sacrificing a good shot for a great shot at the rim. Yotsus under duress, head fake, finishes, and is fouled. He's emulating Domantas Sabonis, who also hails from Lithuania but lost this evening in Minnesota for the Sacramento Kings. But great minutes, great production by Yotsus tonight.
Yotsus only played 2 minutes off the bench in the Lions' win at UTEP Tuesday. But between Yotsus and Rick Asanzi, you just figure for Stan Johnson, one of those two options is likely, just based on the odds, to give you a lot of productivity one night to the next. Just doesn't necessarily depend on which one, but you know one of them will deliver. Big block, and it's Yotsus right on cue. V-Day can't connect with Amy, though, on the run out. Dowd spins, lefty, awkward push shot, out of control, is rebounded by McBride.
Yeah, Dowd thought he got hit. No call, have to play on. Yotsus wants the ball, he's calling for it.
It's his version of a heat check, Bill. He's calling for it.
You love that.
Yeah, they give it to him. V-Day.
Now we're deep in the shot clock. Can you still get a high-quality shot late in the shot clock?
3 on the clock. Brown delivers. The answer is yes.
Brown just plays with great poise, able to get to his spot, elevate, and finish. That's gorgeous offense. Again, under duress, late in the clock. LMU Lions love that.
Valdez, deep 3. Way off the mark. Long board taken by Dowd, but he traveled, slid the pivot foot. As we continue the seesaw battle, LMU led by 11.
And again, they outscored UTEP in the win Tuesday night, 37-20. They're outscoring Troy on their home floor by 4 thus far. Let's see if they can continue their offensive prowess to finish this off.
And it's Brown who joins V-Day, 17 apiece for the 2 stars tonight on the LMU side.
So you're seeing here great coaching after the timeout, a high-quality shot for one of your best players, and he executes and delivers.
And Sang has his pocket picked. Amy with the defense, pulls up, 4-3. Short, rebound Valdez, and Troy can run. Sang, though, got picked up really nicely by V-Day. How good is that in transition?
Big time.
Amy on the hesitation, a little strong. Hasn't been his night. Amy just 3 of 9 from the field. A little hesitant on that drive.
That is an aberration. I think he was surprised at how wide open he was. Amy will not miss many of those.
His teammates have picked him up, though. McBride here calling for the foul. That is the 7th team foul on LMU, and despite the 6-0 run, Troy will get a chance to snap the nearly 3-minute drought at the line.
Now Shelley comes in, Ben, here with 4 fouls, as you alluded to earlier, and it looks like they're going to keep Amy on the floor and take McBride out here. But again, for Shelley now, he'll have to be careful with the 4 fouls.
And McBride picked up his 4th as well. The free throw battle has really kept Troy in it on a night where the Trojans have turned it over 19 times. Compared to just 17 made baskets, they have gone 12 of 15 at the line, and Kobe Campbell adds another to that tally.
Yeah, the free throw line has been an area that has really kept Troy in this game. And the Campbell brothers are getting it done. They're both in double digits.
The Lions only 3 of 7 from the line. That continues to be a major issue. LMU, one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country. But they lead by 7, just over 6 minutes to play.
And they only have 7 attempts at the line on their home floor tonight. They haven't gotten there that often either.
Brown has scored a combined 45 points now the last 2 games at Gersten Pavilion. Feeds an open V-Day, launches the 3, knocks it down, 20 for V-Day.
When he's a threat from downtown, he's especially dangerous. He's worked so hard on developing that part of his game, and it's paying off.
Cooper Campbell on the teardrop. Troy back to within 8 as Campbell is heated up in the second half. He has 13.
He's very close to traveling there, but to his credit, under duress in the paint, makes the shot.
End of the day, though, Troy has had no answer for V-Day on the possessions that matter most. Brown loses a tire and has to call a timeout, one of 2 remaining for LMU, and each team now built down to just a single timeout as we keep it here, 5:15 left in an 8-point game.
Here, keeping the Trojans in this one. 5 and change left. LMU by 8.
Shelley in with the 4 fouls, and he gets his pocket picked with some contact. Foul on Cooper Campbell. That was the last foul to give for Troy with 5:08 left.
So again, for LMU, you must continue to get high-quality shots. And just like Coach Romar told Bridget at halftime, you have to contest on every defensive possession.
Wow, 5-second call, though, on V-Day. And LMU had just taken a timeout. No way V-Day was going to take another one and play the last 5:08 without a timeout.
Just the 3rd turnover for the Lions here in the second half, but an inopportune time for one for sure.
And a foul taken by Brown. That's his fourth. So 3 of the 5 starters now for the Lions with 4 fouls, and Troy shooting free throws the rest of the way.
So now officiating is like the weather. When it's a little hot outside, you got to wear your shorts. When it's chilly, you got to wear your sweater. When it's rainy, you need your umbrella like tonight. So LMU is going to have to adjust to the officiating. It was a very clean game in the first half. Yotsus has been major tonight. He gets an opportunity here as Brown will take a short rest. We'll probably see Brown come right back after the under 4-minute media timeout.
It allows Troy, too, to ratchet up the physicality even more than it already has been without a single player at over 2 fouls.
Yeah, so they're plus 10 at the free throw line right now are the Trojans. They can go plus 11 if Valdez makes this one, and he does.
Valdez with 14. The Campbell brothers each have 13. And it's a 6-point game. Troy showing some full court pressure.
Can you embrace this pressure as an opportunity for a dunk at the other end?
Lions clear it with ease. LMU, one of the top 25 three-point rate teams in the country. Last year, 9 of the top 25 teams made the NCAA tournament, which we believe to be a record high. So it's clearly played into LMU's hands this year. Will they go that route on this possession? 5 on the shot clock. Vide instead in the paint. Fade away. Got it. Too good from Jan Vide.
Quality shot.
And a travel by Valdez on the other end. Unforced error by the Trojans.
Jan Vide just getting into the paint and making it happen one-on-one late in the shot clock. Defended well by Valdez, who goes 6'7", Jan's 6'6". But again, that fadeaway is so tough to defend. Well executed by Jan.
Eight-point lead for LMU as we cross the 4-minute mark. Last time the Lions were 5-0, they made a postseason tournament, the CBI, in 2018. Here's Amy, 5 on the shot clock. Oh, he puts it in! High degree of difficulty, and the Lions are back up 10.
Great decision by Amy to go shoot over the 6'8" Dowd. Well done. Clutch baskets by LMU, both late in the shot clock, which Troy is forcing the Lions into.
Kobe Campbell on the finish, goes right at McBride, playing with the 4 fouls. Smart decision by Kobe. He and his brother Cooper set up on the backcourt D.
This Troy roster is made up of tough, hard-nosed basketball players.
Oh, Yotsus is fouled from behind as LMU went from nearly turning it over to almost getting a jam on the other end.
Points off of that, but they've really ratcheted that up, and Yotsus here at the free throw line looking to extend this 8-point advantage.
Shooting foul right before the break as Yotsus misses the first. Each team in the 1-1 right now. Both squads have a single timeout left. And this is where an Achilles heel generally gets exposed when you're trying to close out a game late and you struggle the way LMU has at the free throw line. Yotsus misses both. They're now just 3 of 9 tonight from the stripe.
Yeah, you just let the opposition hang around instead of creating that separation that you want late.
Cooper Campbell almost lost the dribble, keeps it alive. Sang short on a 3. McBride boxing out, playing with those 4 fouls as he knocks it out last.
Side out of bounds scenario here for Troy. So LMU with the ability to switch virtually every pick and roll action here, with maybe the exception of Yotsus in the front court.
And for two teams who have relied so heavily on the three-pointers this year, they've been an identical 7 of 20. The difference, it's really been the D's you're alluding to from LMU. Here, though, it's a shot from Dowd and more LMU D. Yotsus on the altar.
Yeah, just limiting the opponent to one shot if you don't turn them over is paramount at this juncture.
And Amy gets the finish, back to a 10-point lead for LMU. They can taste it now with just over 2 to play.
Amy has been big in the second half, 9 points, 4 of 9 from the floor.
Kobe Campbell not on this three. McBride the rebound, starting to get away from the Trojans.
McBride, such a great two-way player. His defensive rebounds here late have been major for the Lions' effort.
Vide been in control all night, a career-high 22 points, 10 of 18 from the field. 6 on the shot clock. Vide, the pass. Shelley, one more, but it's poked away, stolen by Kobe Campbell.
Love the unselfishness of LMU with 3 touches, but it results in a turnover on that occasion.
And Cooper Campbell, hoop and the harm, leans perfectly into Yotsus. Everybody's okay down there, fortunately, as Cooper Campbell with a team high 15 goes to the line.
Yeah, so this is just a very crafty player in the paint. He knows he's got Yotsus on his back in the rearview mirror. He draws contact and draws the foul. So for Yotsus, that'll be a good opportunity as a 6'10 guy getting more and more minutes against a backcourt player. Look at that on tape. And again, when you're beaten in that fashion, Ben, a lot of times if you can extend yourself and just go at the rim and try to deflect, that may be the better play. Coachable, teachable moment. But Yotsus has been terrific tonight. He's been big.
This is a game where Yotsus has played the most minutes of the season against D1 opposition. And in general, Yotsus had never played more than 12 in a game his first year after transferring in from Central Florida, where he didn't play past February with a season-ending injury.
Now, what you have to be prepared for if you're LMU is extended full-court pressure by the Trojans. Scott Cross is going to take a timeout here because they're going to be all over the place, and you have to be, here's the pressure now by Troy.
Amy on the inbounds. 1 timeout left for LMU. Vide trapped, finds McBride.
Need good spacing here as well. Make yourself available. Create a passing lane where it does not exist when your teammate is under duress. Run to the ball.
Foul taken, though. That's not what you want if you're Scott Cross. You played that out well, and with 12 on the shot clock, you bail out Vide and LMU. It's a foul on Keel, his second.
Vide having a career night. He's been 8 of 10 from the floor, from the free throw line entering this evening.
It's really he and Shelley who have been the 2 solid, reliable free throw options. That makes it even worse for Troy on a team that has struggled so mightily at the charity stripe. You foul one of the 2 guys who is actually really good at that role.
For LMU here, Ben, don't let anything behind you. Foul without defending, contest. But, you know, it's not an opportunity to go soft defensively, right? Keep it all in front of you. If you're going to switch everything, they're switching everything except the channel right now when you're an LMU fan or a Troy fan back in Bama. We know they're up. They're not going to sleep either, given the time change.
Of course. A big night of basketball in LA tonight. Arizona, UCLA over at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Good one between a couple of talented mid-majors tonight at Gersten Pavilion as Cooper Campbell misses. His brother Kobe gets the board. Have to have some urgency here if you're Troy. Down 3, air ball, loose, picked up by Amy. That might just seal it with 50 seconds left. McBride on the lob. It's Shelley, the cherry on top.
Solid effort by the Lions. Well done against a formidable opponent that was in the NCAA tournament a year ago.
And a team very much in the mix to win a Sun Belt Conference tournament again this year as Valdez airballs it. But the story tonight, LMU and the 5-0 start.
There you go, Shelley with the exclamation point on this victory, to the delight of the crowd here at Hank's house.
8 newcomers, 5 transfers for Coach Stan Johnson. It's the era of the portal. There is so much randomness. You never know how those pieces will come together. Early returns, it's been a success for the Lions as they pull away a 47-38 second half and go to 5-0 for the first time since 2018 with a 74-63 win at home over Troy. And it's back-to-back games, Bill, with a dominant second half to pull away.
On 10 different lead changes, you guys find a way to hang in there, get the win. 5-0 for the first time in 7 years. What did it take?
I mean, it took since the summer, I would say. You know, since we gathered the team for the first time, since we first time met. It feels amazing. We are really enjoying it as a team. You see, like, diversity hits us. We stay together. We are, like, relentless. We are connected, which is the most important part, and we are just having fun on the court.
Relentless, a word you could use to describe your performance tonight. 24 points, a career high. What was working?
Well, I'm just like happy, like team put me in those positions, to be honest. They trusted me with the ball a lot. I'm just happy that I was able to deliver and that we got a win, that's all.
You told me earlier that you wanted to be a leader both on and off the court for this team. How have you been able to put that goal into action?
Well, I'm going to just say, like, you know, with the guys that we have, the guys that are like desire to win the same way as I am, it's so easy to play with, and you know, like it's not hard for them to listen, you know. That's like one thing, and like I'm just like trying to be the best example for them. They are following me as much as they can, and like we have MJ as a captain, which is doing an amazing job, and like I feel like so happy to be here, to be honest.
You also told me that you're playing for the name on the back of your jersey, your family in Slovenia. 6 a.m. there. Are they up watching?
I think they're going to just check the box score, but they're going to check the highlights for sure.
What does it mean to have this performance and do that for them?
Well, I mean, it means a lot, you know, especially my mom's been here. She's happy that she sees me happy enjoying the basketball and everything that comes with it. So it's just like the best feeling ever.
Enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Bridget. I'm gonna guess that Jan Vide is wrong. His